Thank you everyone for attending our presentation. We are Buckeye Solar, a division of the Solar Education and Outreach Program at The Ohio State University. And today we would like to present our solar plus storage proposal for Auraria campus. We'll start off talking a little bit about the design components of our solar plus storage system, go into a little bit of the financial feasibility and electronic feasibility, and talk a little bit about market plans and what our plan is for construction. To start off, I'm your team captain, Zahra Amin.
I'm the financial lead, Rupal.
Hi, I'm the storage lead, Sylvia.
Hi, I'm Grant, and I'm the Open DSS lead.
Along with these people who are presenting with us today, we also have our Aurora Solar head, Julian Circla, our public permit and zoning manager, Annie Willazoko, our electronics advisor, Jacob Welter, and also our faculty assistant is here also, Dr. Paul Berger.
So as a group of committed engineers and environmentalists, through this project, we wanted to create the most optimized PV system. And so we simulated and designed our PV system using real-life case studies, Aurora Solar, modeling things such as Reoplight, OpenDSS, and financial models to hopefully obtain the most optimized system possible.
So not only has the cost of wind and solar decreased, so has the price of batteries. By utilizing cheaper renewable energy and its accessories, we designed a solar plus storage system to maximize use of a worthy investment.
Using data from the Auraria Sustainable Campus Program, we can see that a large portion of the Auraria budget can be attributed to electricity, which is not ideal for Auraria's goals. Our plan significantly improves the existing Aurora power system by adding a 21% offset and up to $3 million in savings. Our plan leads to a more sustainable future for Denver. The specific design components are what make our project really stand out. Focusing on details such as panel quality, inverter power, and financial opportunities really allowed for us to make a design compatible with both the short and long-term goals of the Aurora campus.
To start off, I'll be speaking a little bit about the panels we have decided to use. We have gone with the SunPower E-Series with the 435 watt system. This is a monocrystalline panel, which we found to be more efficient than the polycrystalline panel. It also has an extremely high efficiency with nearly 20%, which is one of the highest in the market. We found efficiency to be one of our priorities in our solar system because an efficient panel will generate more electricity than a less efficient panel in the same amount of space. And we wanted to maximize space and the electricity and energy generation in the limited amount of area that we had on the rooftops. The panels themselves are made using Maxion solar cells, which is a solar cell built on a copper metal backing, and it does not have bus bars or grid lines, making it slightly unconventional. The elimination of these bus bars and grid lines allow for more surface area to absorb more sunlight, which leads to that higher efficiency that we prioritize. We also selected the E-Series because of the environmental awareness. We understand that Auraria campus has high sustainable goals, and we wanted to include that in the panel selection. Our E-Series are cradle to cradle certified. They use recycled rubber and cable management, and the way that they're cleaned uses 75% less water than manual method, which makes it the life cycle impact of these panels less and allows for a more holistic view for the panels themselves. Along with this, we suggest that EV chargers be added to the carport systems that we have installed. This would allow for a culture of sustainability to be cultivated on campus and allow for reduced carbon emissions through faculty, students, and staff opting to use more electric and less fossil-friendly vehicles in their future. To simulate the solar plus storage system that we have, we used Aurora Solar, which is an NREL value modeling system that uses on-site modeling and Google Maps to help simulate the panel placement and inverter placement. We had a threshold to allow us to place panels in a way that allows the space to be used efficiently, and this is an 85% irradiance requirement. We determined the necessary inverters based on efficiency, power capacity, the location, durability, and lifetime. We'll now go a little bit more into depth about our Aurora solar model. So this is a picture of our upper Auraria campus and our low Auraria campus, which was separated into two for ease of using the software. Together, our system is nearly 3 megawatts and allows for nearly a 21% energy offset. We use nearly 7,000 panels with 2 carports and 7 ground mounts. The panels are placed, rotated, and tilted using the longitude and latitude of Denver to allow for maximum annual solar light, so that throughout the year it can absorb the most light possible and create that efficient system that we're looking for Auraria campus.
So these are examples of the different Aurora solar models that we use to help determine the location of our panels. And the irradiance model, which you can see there on the left, let us see the amount of direct sunlight received on each of the areas of the roofs. And so we use this with a threshold of 85% to ensure that none of our panels were kept in the shade. And then on the right, you can see that we use LiDAR models to help detect how high buildings are. And so we use this for more accurate building simulation, but also to ensure that we accounted for any obstructions to the panels.
To connect our panels to the grid, we had to select inverters. String inverters were chosen due to their cost efficiency and ease of installation. To fit the inverter-sized each panel array, we used 3 different sizes of the SMA Sunny Tri-Power Core 1 inverter and 2 of the Fronius Primo inverters. This will reduce the overall cost spent on inverters. And an example of our string on the carports and rooftops is shown here.
So as an aesthetic choice, we have decided to use solar skins as a way to make the panels more visually pleasing to the public and the city space it occupies. Solar skins is a graphic overlay, and it allows for customizable artwork, which would increase the market and design value. The technology employs selective light filtration to simultaneously display a vibrant image and transmit sunlight to the underlying solar array. This patented technology achieves the best aesthetic at the highest efficiency of any technology in the market, preserving up to 99% of a project's energy generation. So as a design choice, we would suggest Rocky Mountains to honor Colorado's beautiful terrain.
OpenDSS allows us to analyze the power distribution of the system. We ran our OpenDSS program before implementing our PV definitions to model the existing system. And then we ran the program with PV definitions while simulating the day of max irradiance in Denver in 2019 to provide an estimate of max power delivery. The circuit plots shown here display the amount of power in each line as represented by the thickness of the line. As expected, the circuit plots in our proposed system in the max irradiance case closely resemble the existing system. However, you can see more power runs through the middle of the grid when the PV modules are, where the PV modules are located. Next slide, please.
Okay, sorry.
In addition to the circuit plots, load plots help us ensure that we do not reach overvoltage scenarios. The day with max irradiance in 2019 serves to provide a good estimate of the day with the max power production. As we see in the second figure here on the right, the per unit voltage stays well below the maximum threshold. I should note that these plots were also generated assuming the battery is not discharging. However, the battery is a relatively small power source that will not cause an overvoltage scenario.
So for the financial portion, the final PPA price we propose is 5.6 cents per kilowatt hour for the Auraria aggregate system. We did incorporate SREX to lower this PPA price to the value that it is. And though this value is slightly higher than the avoided cost of utility, it does provide a reasonable IRR price of 7.54%. We also performed a customer analysis on a monthly basis, and these are the potential customer savings that can occur over the project lifetime. The savings from the installed PV system could also be used for a green revolving fund, and that would be used for other sustainability projects. And at the end of 20 years, we will have approximately $3 million accumulated for this fund.
So in an effort to continue to optimize our system and meet the resiliency requirements of the Auraria Science Building, we decided it would be advantageous for them to implement a battery. So using Rheoplite, we found that we would need a battery with power of 102 kilowatts and a capacity of 404 kilowatt hours. So to meet these needs, we decided on a Tesla power pack, and we decided on this because these are pretty modular batteries. So as Auraria would maybe want to add more storage systems to their campus, it would be pretty easy to implement those. And these are also a pretty highly rated battery. And so as you can see down in the plot on the right, this battery does meet the required resiliency needs. So we simulated a 6-hour outage, which we found from Excel Energy is about typically the max outage per year. And so as you can see, our battery does obtain the critical load for almost that whole time. So our battery is pretty good for meeting the resiliency requirements. And taking into account the fact that there could be $1 million of lost capital along with the battery cost itself, we found that they could save upwards of $775,000 by implementing the battery.
So our project comes in different stages. The first stage is the construction of the PV system, which we will talk about more in a second. The second stage comes with community education and outreach. And then our final stage is the investment of future research and sustainability project. This is to try to stay in accordance with the Auraria Campus Sustainability Program, phases 2 and 3, in which PV development will be increased on campus to create a culture of sustainability. As roofs age and become older, there's a plan to replace them with newer roofs that are able to handle the PV systems. And this will help with Auraria's goal to lower their carbon emissions and their greenhouse gas emissions by 50% by 2030 and then 80% by 2050. We believe that stages 2 and 3 of our project will really help with those greenhouse gas emissions, because with education and outreach, we'll be able to get more of market value and allow for the community to invest in more sustainable projects, such as the EV system that we have proposed and other more PV developments in the future. To talk a little bit about the construction that we have proposed, we have simulated this project as if it would be all done at once in an 8-month timeline. We would start off in April right after graduation to not hinder students' education and studying, go on to ground mount and carports, and then finish up in December with the last installations and inspections. We have scaled this as if every single building will be constructed at once. However, we do know that because of phases 2 and 3 in the sustainable campus development PV roadmap, it could be scaled down for a single building to happen in the span of 2 or 3 months and go more in accordance with how Auraria would like their PV roadmap development to happen. So this is what we have proposed for our project and our solar plus storage simulation. We'd like to thank NREL, the Department of Energy, Aurora Solar, and of course, Auraria Campus for giving us this opportunity to learn and grow. We really enjoyed it and we really appreciate it. At this time, we would like to open it up for judge questions.